know, when this whole thing kind of started off, it started off something small. It was just like a family thing. Me and my cousin started a company, my uncle filmed it with me on the beach, and it kind of grew to something bigger when all my friends kind of joined in. And now it's just kind of me and my dad when we're kind of really approaching the end with like our final 4 projects. I think for me, The Businessman stands out as like a singular piece that's probably like my best work. It kind of, from A to B, it really works as like a single piece of storytelling. I mean, sure, it's connected to this bigger universe that I've developed, but it kind of, I really love the fact that you can work on its own. You can just watch it and appreciate it for being a film. What the fuck was that? What's funny was, when we started off doing these short films, when Harvey came up to me and said, "Oh yeah, do you fancy, making a sequel to The Object and stuff like that?" And I just spanned off, kind of me going nuts, making ideas to develop the series. I never wanted myself to be in it at all. I was just like, yeah, I just want to be the director. But when I came up with the idea of putting all the ideas and stories I've come up with over the years into the same universe, there was always one character that I wanted to play, and that was Jack. Jack starts off kind of really as a letdown. He's a loser. He's a drunk. He's a druggie. Even though The Businessman is from his point of view, he's not the hero at all. Carl's the hero, but you're seeing it through this person's perspective, and then all the way through you're kind of expecting Jack to, rise to the occasion, and he just fails at every turn. And I think that's what makes The Businessman work so much, is you're seeing this guy almost destroy himself over the things he's seeing and the secrets he doesn't know that's driving him insane. And I think that's why I love Jack so much. He's a real damaged character, and especially with what I know, with what the character develops into eventually, it's nice to see his origins as such a character that's really, really damaged. We finished The Businessman last year, and it had a limited premiere. We showed the film to a few friends. We gave them the link so they could, tell us what they thought of it. But the post-production's been a bit of a bitch. We've had problems, cast and crew not gonna be able to come back. But Luke Jones has been doing the visual effects, and Dan Holland has been doing the music. Been working hard on it, and it's, from what I've seen and heard, I mean, the music is just brilliant and the visual effects look great. Fuck. Even though it's much later, it's going to be released than what I wanted it to be. I mean, I wanted it to be out last year. I think it'll be worth the wait, because it will look so much better than what it was going to be when it was first released. And because we've had this delay, we've been able to change a few things in post-production. Like, for instance, at the beginning, where I'm being interrogated, it's my dad doing the role, because we didn't cast anyone at that point. And then that's when we brought Robin in to play this character that you see in The Object Legacy. And now, because we've had this extended time of development, we've actually had Robin come back and do the audio for the scenes. I mean, we haven't refilmed it at all, but we've had him loop the dialogue, so now he's in the businessman and it's a bit of more continuity to work with the second film.
Who are you?
Jack Harper.
The infamous Jack Harper.
I'm really looking forward to it coming out because it's like my first proper feature film and it's quite exciting. You know what's great about the Object Legacy is it's the final piece of the puzzle. It's the final film to tie up all these short films, the businessman, everything comes together and it really feels like a fitting ending.
Excuse me.
And I think people were a bit worried when I decided to cancel Listener and Prologue, but really they're not cancelled, they've just been integrated into the Object Legacy to make it more of a complete film. Like for instance with The Businessman, it feels like a single entity, and that's what I wanted to do with the Object Legacy. And now with both short films connected into the Object Legacy, it feels like a complete experience. It feels like you are watching the whole story, because The Listener really does feel like the beginning of the Object Legacy, and to take it away and have it as a short film rather than have it as the beginning of a feature film, it just felt wrong, and it felt like if you started Object Legacy without it, there's something missing.
Are we there yet?
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, I'm bored and tired.
I know the feeling.
Well, how much longer? I need to take a piss.
Charming.
That's when I decided to integrate it, and I think people were a bit worried because, you know, there must be something wrong with Listener if you're cancelling it. I mean, we did have problems with it, I'm not going to lie. We had problems with the cast, availability and stuff, but that's not the main reason why it was cancelled for its form. It was simply to add it to the Object Legacy to make it more of a complete experience. And I think it all works so much better now that it's, you know, a whole story. Obviously, Object Legacy went through a massive rewrite when we added the short films, and after watching it again and feel, you know, I needed to tie more stuff up, and it was looking more and more likely we weren't going to do the third film in the trilogy, The Gathering, I took a few scenes from that to bring it over to the Object Legacy to tie stuff up, and to do that we had to add more scenes to explain stuff, and that's really when we added Robin into the mix.
Safe! Safe!
Well, what a pleasant surprise.
Gentlemen, are you following me?
Well, I suppose the cat's out of the bag now.
Ah! What are you doing? What do you want? We really felt that we needed another antagonist, because Harvey's character is it's hard to describe because he's playing for both sides really. He doesn't really know he's doing it as well, and he's the mental, you know, evil mastermind behind the whole thing. But we needed more of a physical antagonist that was gonna screw shit up, basically. You know, he was gonna beat the crap out of people. We needed major fights. I mean, we've got this great fight at the end between Steve and Harvey, and I can't sing their praises enough. Steve and Harvey, absolutely perfect on screen together. I couldn't have chose those two better if I tried.
Andrew, stop!
It was amazing, but we needed something else. We needed, you know, we're starting to get to this point in the story where everything's at stake, but you don't really see enough. So we wanted to show Andrew Myers' army. So in order to do that, we needed a figurehead, and that's where Robin came in as Nathaniel. And it's this great new fight sequence between Nathaniel with the suits and Seth, and it just works so well.
I am Nathaniel, the harbinger of doom, the bringer of death. You will not stop us.
While I've got you talking, tell me, since the Master had the artifact when he took it from the sister, why did he give it to the brother?
And I can't wait to see it. It's going to be sad to see this franchise finish, to be fair, because, you know, I've spent the better part of 8 years on it now, you know, and it's probably my finest work. I don't know if everybody will agree with me, because, you know, they prefer me doing comedy or something, but for me, what I love about making films is having a story that works, you know, a story that I'm proud of, and that necessarily doesn't always exclude comedy, but I feel drama is much more rewarding for an actor, you know, when you can get into the real nitty-gritty of it, and, you know, the raw emotion of it, it's great. And I think with both Businessman and Object Legacy, you get to feel the raw emotion, and I couldn't be prouder, to be fair. Object Legacy is obviously the ending of the story, but it's not the ending of the universe, and sadly I don't think we're going to be able to explore it now, because obviously my predicament with having to work and trying to get money and all this stuff at home and stuff, it's going to leave me less time to work on stuff. And I think because we're at a certain point now, we can't continue. Some people don't want to come back now. Some people physically can't make it back. I've all moved away and such, and it's sad really, because while we've got to the end of this story, it's kind of only the first chapter of many stories, and, you know, it would have been nice to see some of them. I mean, we had all the development. This is only like the first year of several years of character development, and it all goes places, and certain characters you weren't going to see again anyway. I mean, you weren't going to see the majority of the characters again. You would only see a certain few after they leave, and we kind of followed them as they leave, but, you know, maybe one day. You know, the comedy movie is a really bizarre project, because we've been working on it so long. We've been working on it since 2007, and then we'd do a bit, and then we think, oh, that's not right, we have to rewrite it, and then certain characters felt like they weren't supposed to be there, so we've had to rewrite them, change it over, and now we've kind of got back to it finally because of the delay with the Object Legacy. We've managed to go back to it, which is quite fun, to be fair. It was nice to change stuff up. It was nice to go back to comedy for a while.
What a weirdo. And what's with that stupid wig he's wearing?
I mean, it was nice to have characters from other properties turn up. We have the Happy Slapper from Crap Shows turning up. We have Freddy from Freddy and the Fudbuckers turning up. And it's nice to see people pop up in certain situations. I mean, even Semolina Valentino first started off on Crap Shows, and then he moved over to the comedy movie. It's bizarre how you can have certain things connect.
Okay, I'll just stay here then.
I think we should play a game. Yes, let's play a game. Let's play doctors and nurses.
Kill me now.
Also, it's really fun, you know, to see it kind of come to an end, because the comedy show was the first thing we did with NickeRMel, and the comedy movie was kind of a thing we owed ourselves to kind of, you know, this is what we started off with, so it's kind of what we need to finish off with, or one of the things we're going to finish off with, which is great. And you know, you watch it back and you think it's actually quite funny. You know, who wrote this almost 10 years ago, but it still seems quite funny. And yeah, it's going to be fun to watch when it's all finished, hopefully, finally.
Excuse me. Would it be possible for me to pop in and have a tinkle?
You know, it's really funny because, as I was saying before, Freddie coming back with Lawrence playing him, and him and Semolina Valentino work so well together. It's so funny, and that scene is probably the scene that's changed the most. It's kind of the end confrontation scene. It's the semi-climax of the film, and originally it was supposed to be Lawrence as himself with Melanie and Deborah, and then it changed to Elliot and Harvey, with Harvey being Harvey Crossley MD again, and then it finally came over to just being Freddie, because this project started off as like a family thing, and I think it was nice to have Elliot and Harvey do like a cameo, but it seemed better and more right to have it as, you know, a family thing. You know, have Lawrence come back, you know, to what we started off with. It was really fun. It was good, and I can't wait to finally see it done. Doctor Who: Curse of the Teenage Doctor is going to be much darker and much grittier compared to what we saw in Doctor Who: The Teenage Doctor. And after we had so much struggle with the last episodes that were originally supposed to be a continuation of the Teenage Doctor, it seemed better to separate them, because even though it was fun doing Teenage Doctor, and you know, at the time it looked really good, you look back at it, it hasn't really aged well, and it's the same with the footage that we never released. So I wanted to find a way of still using that footage, but justifying the way it looks, making it look old. And the way we've done it is we've paid homage to Doctor Who: Trial of the Time Lord. We've made it the Doctor's being interrogated by this mysterious person called Gabriel, and he's kind of probing his mind, looking for the secrets of this person once known as the Doctor. And that's how we use the old footage. It's two timelines. We've got the teenager captured, and as his mind's being probed, we see what we shot before.
Doctor! Every time I ask you what happened to Claire's body, you refuse to answer.
Derek.
No, Doctor, I want an answer.
And it really, I think the concept of it will work so well. At the moment it's going to be 5 episodes. We're going to squash down what we shot before, and then we're going to bookend stuff. I'm not sure who's going to come back yet, because we haven't started filming the new bits yet. I'd like to finish off the scenes that we didn't film before when we were going to do the episodes originally, but it all depends on who we can get back. I mean, so far I can only confirm me and my dad, and there'll be new casting for Nicola, and we'll need casting for the character of Gabriel, which is going to be such an exciting character to see. And it was a concept that Harvey pitched to me about having this group, I don't want to say it because it will spoil it, but having this group come into the series, and it's like one of his favourite antagonists of Doctor Who lore, and it's really exciting to see them. And with this series now, kind of, it's more of a separate entity. It does follow Teenage Doctor, but it's, you know, it can be viewed by itself, and that's why we start off kind of ending it and then kind of recapping a bit. And it follows the Teenage Doctor, and it also follows Harvey's Doctor Who campaign, the Prime Doctor, the story basis for that, where all the Doctors from different timelines and universes met up to versus the Faction Paradox, and it follows that. And Curse the Teenage Doctor kind of almost straight away follows that from my perspective, and it's great to have that little bit of continuity with other projects as well. What? Doctor Who was like another big project that was delayed for a long time because we got stuck with it. We lost cast, we found it hard to do certain scenes, and that's what's great about this new concept. Because we're flashing back and forward with the future, if there's certain scenes that we do struggle with and we can't do, we can always just explain it in the future. I mean, it seems like a cheap way to do it, but the way that we're going to do these new scenes, it will make it interesting. It will make it I can't think of a word to say, but you know, it's gonna look much better than I think it would have done as it was originally, and with as well as what we did film for what was supposed to be series 2, we're going to be taking story concepts from other ideas that me and Harvey came up with further series, and it's going to be a fitting end, I would say. It's not supposed to be the end. It will kind of leave you with, oh, they're sort of in a good place, but it can continue. I mean, if things change, I would love to continue the story of the teenager, because he's quite a unique character, and by the first episode you'll know why he's become so distraught, and it's going to be interesting to see how people kind of react to what we've done to the character and the situation he's been put in and what he's lost. But yeah, it's gonna be nice to finish it off, I think. With the final 4, I think it's gonna be hard to finish them off, because you know, been going 18 years. It's gonna be sad to almost see it go. There's a few reasons why I think now is the time to stop. I don't really want to get into them because, you know, I don't want to sound pathetic or anything like that. But, you know, we're very close now. I mean, The Businessman has finished filming, finished last year. The Object Legacy is quite close to being finished. We just need to get a few people back to finish off a few scenes to, you know, get the story rolling. And the comedy movie is quite close to being finished as well. The one that's probably got the most work to do on is Doctor Who, but even then we've probably still got about half of it done, because there was all of series 2 that, you know, we had pretty much close to being finished, and now we've got to add these new scenes. It's kind of 50% of the work is done for us. It's, you know, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because we've got to work on rearranging it all, but it's going to be better. But yeah, it's it, you know, last 4 of NickeRMel. It's going to be sad, I think, you know, saying goodbye. But as I said, I think now's the time to go. After these 4, you know, I've got my 2 best projects, I think, from a standing point of me directing them, and, you know, the actors doing their best they can to, you know, showing off their acting chops. And, you know, comedy movie, it was nice to do a bit of comedy again. And with Doctor Who, it was nice to finish off a story we started a long time ago. And as you say, that's kind of it. I mean, I'd love to say I'd come back and continue on. I mean, we've got Project Sunshine started, which is nice, and I think if I continue on with that, I'm gonna focus more on producing and getting other people's ideas started, because I think I've had my fun now. I think it's time to help other people out. It's time to let other people do their thing. Yeah.
See that goal there? Yeah. Yeah. It's like a shadow. Oh mate, you just got a face like a fucking Joker. What's wrong there? You just got a fucking question mark tattooed on her vagina too. Mate, that's the Riddler. Oh yeah.
It's been a fantastic journey. 18 years. I mean, to do something yourself with help and then kind of keep it going and keep doing different things, especially as something you've built from the ground up. It's a long time to go. It's gonna be sad. Just let it go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed our content for NickeRMel's 18th anniversary. The plan is to go for... I'd say I'd like to make it to 20 years. If these 4 projects get finished before then, you might see something else. Say we get them all finished by the end of this year or next year. I mean, I doubt it, but if we do, we have a year. We could do something in a year. It'd be nice, The final 4 might become the final 5, but I think 2017 is the cut-off point. 20 years is kind of a hallmark to make, and yeah, whatever it is, however good or bad my history's been with NickeRMel, it's all been fun and, quite proud of it. I mean, there's been a few crap projects over the time, I'm not gonna lie, but all of the projects I can think of I've had fun with, and that's the important thing. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see it all finished off and be able to just do nothing and just relax and watch other people's stuff, it'll be great. So, see you later, folks.